Hi there, this is Diecast Channel, and in this video you're going to do a review on this 1970 Plymouth Duster 340 made by Auto World in a 1/18 scale. So if you like those Mopars, stay with me to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't subscribed yet. Give me a thumbs up, share this video, and also give me your comments and click the bell for news. So let's unbox this car and take a better look at it right now. 1970 Plymouth Duster 340 that became a very interesting muscle car for 1970. 1970 muscle cars were in a sort of a pinnacle. Had several types of cars as options, and Chrysler thought it would be a good idea to come up with a fastback version of a Dodge Dart and a Plymouth Valiant. So it made the Dodge Dart Demon, and for Plymouth, the Plymouth Valiant Duster, which is this car we can see here in vitamin C orange color. This car was very sought after by the young people since it was a budget car, it was a compact car, and also had the sports look. It was more sporty in European style than the original Dodge Dart and the original Plymouth Valiant. And also, it could be equipped with several engines, ranging from the Slant 6 to the 340 V8, which gave the car a very nice performance with 275 horsepower. The Plymouth Valiant Duster with the Slant 6 engine didn't have the best performance, but was a very reliable and dependable car, and also a budget car at the time, starting from a good price, and it competed with the Chevrolet Nova and the Ford Maverick. With different options of V8s, such as the 318 and also the 340, it could be a higher performance car and also a very reliable and dependable one. So that's what the young high school kids could get for the money, the kind of money they had to afford a brand new car at the time. So the 340 Duster became a very successful muscle car since it looked sporty and it was also a very fun car to drive. It became a great success, and Plymouth sold several units of this car. For 1971, it had a new grille and also a black hood for the 340. That could also count on some optionals we can see in this car, such as bucket seats and central console. Dashboard also counted on rounded gauges, the ones that were in the 1969 Plymouth Barracuda. Different types of steering wheel. Sports steering wheel is an option. The central console could also have 4-on-the-floor with a pistol grip or a 3-speed automatic. A dual exhaust, his rally wheels, and very simple pinstripes. The car itself was not really very fancy. It was not fancy at all, but it was attractive, it was honest, and it was dependable. So it really became a success. This model car, made by Auto World, depicts this very nice Plymouth Duster for 1970 with the same grille of a Plymouth Valiant, and also with improved details when compared to the older Earl models. Engine's got some cables, wires, and hoses the older models didn't count on. The wheels have better detail, the chrome, a better realistic interior, different texture for seats instead of that plastic look we used to have in the older versions. The undercarriage has also better details, better colors. The engine was also painted instead of looking like plastic. So we're going to take a look at these details right now. The front end for the Plymouth Duster, which is about the same one for the Plymouth Valiant. From the cowl to the front, it is a Plymouth Valiant. From the windshield to the rear end, it's a brand new body with fastback styled roof. Grille is made with a very good quality, a very well made mesh with the Plymouth logo in the center. The headlights could be a little bit more realistic. Turn signals are made with a pretty good quality in this orange color. They could be made in acrylic. They would look a little bit more realistic. But since this is an intermediate model car, it's okay. The hood is pretty well aligned. The lines are correct according to the Plymouth Valiant and the Plymouth Duster. Front bumper looks good. It has a little flash here, but there's no big issue. With a pretty good realism. Both look good. The chrome parts are pretty well made, and the trim around them looks pretty well adjusted. This is a pretty good product for its price. The metal antenna looks way better than the old plastic antennas early cars used to have. Windshield wipers are separate parts. The cowl looks pretty good and pretty realistic. And the trim around the windshield is cast in metal and painted on. And transparency for the windshield and for the windows is excellent. Side view mirror looks pretty correct and also in the right proportion for the 1/18 scale. The engine bay looks pretty good, with a 340 V8 engine in correct color. It's in hemi-orange. The filter pan looks very realistic and well made. The air conditioner, alternator, hoses, spark plug cables look very realistic. The exhaust manifolds, the intake manifold, factory sticker, the reservoir, brake master cylinder, they all look pretty correct. The radiator and the radiator cap and the battery and the front panel with this factory sticker looks pretty good. The only improvement I think it would be nice to have in this car would be this hinge. It looks a little bit thick, not so thick, but it could be a little bit more realistic if it were made more towards the edges, just like the position in the real car. The hood looks pretty good and shuts correctly. The interior for the Plymouth Duster with this new dashboard that was somewhat inherited from the 1969 Plymouth Barracuda, with the rounded gauges. Steering wheel has 3 spokes. The door panels look pretty good and the colors match the ones in the interior. That looks pretty more realistic with this new texture. These seats actually do not tilt, but they look pretty well made and with those buckets in the correct texture that really mocks the vinyl seats in a real car. There's no sill plate here, but there is a carpet, and this tab here was painted black to match the carpet. And the pedals look nice. The gas, brake, and clutch, since this car has got a mechanical transmission. The 4 on the floor. We can also see the AC. Looks pretty okay. Just the hinge could be improved by being a more realistic hinge such as we find in more premium model cars. But for an intermediate model, it looks pretty These cars could be equipped with a pistol grip, 4-speed on the floor, and also a central console, which is not the case of this car. It's got no central console, although it's got the buckets. But it's got the air conditioner, which is a very nice option. Glove box lid looks pretty nice and pretty realistic. It does not open. Dashboard looks pretty nice. There's a radio and also wood grain pattern. It was a way better car than the Ford Maverick. Carpet makes interior looks very Headliner nice. For this car is quite simple. It's basically the windows acrylic piece with the black paint. It looks okay. It doesn't have a dome light, but it's alright. It's according to the car standard. Door and side panels look very nice with the armrests. The rear end of a car that looks pretty nice with those tail lights. Got a clean design. This trunk lid is very well adjusted. And the tail lights are made in acrylic with the backing lights more to the center. The rear bumper looks pretty good with a dual exhaust and a bumper sticker. Tail lights look nice. Those black pinstripes that match the ones on the side with the Duster decal look really awesome. Trunk looks pretty nice. It doesn't have the gas pipe just like we find in the Dodge Dart that would be here in a diagonal. Car has got a sticker that mocks the trunk mat. Spare tire would be underneath this mat on the trunk floor. Those hinges should be a little more outwards. They would look more realistic than these ones, but they do not harm the overall looks of the model car. Overall, it's a very well-made car in an intermediate standard. Jack instructions in the deck lid, and one more sticker, Chrysler. Side marker looks pretty good, cast in metal and painted on. Painted orange in the front and red in the rear. V8 logo, Valiant logo, and Duster 340 decal. The rally wheels, the wheel wells that were the same as the Plymouth Valiant. For a Dart, they would be quite different here especially. The gas cap in the same place as a Dart, and the rear red side marker was cast in metal and painted on. Looks pretty okay. On the right fender, Chrysler paint of star, and the other logos we've talked about. Last but not least, we see the car undercarriage that looks very nice and very realistic. We have the front and rear suspensions with the parts painted correct colors. Gloss black for the axles and differential. This part of the differential is made in metal colors, as well as the drive shaft, which is fixed for this model car. Suspensions are fixed. They do not have working springs. The leaf springs here look pretty realistic. They're also painted black. The base of the car was painted primer with the body color towards the edges, as we find in the Darts made by Highway 61 and the other models cars made by Auto World nowadays. So it has much more detail by simply painting those parts when compared to the older ones. The tank that's made in metal color that would look like the galvanized tanks, and the mufflers that are painted silver that would look like the galvanized mufflers with the muffler tips made in chrome. And all parts were painted in correct colors, such as the engine painted a hemi orange and the transmission painted aluminum. Overall, this looks excellent for an intermediate car. From 0 to 10, I would give a 9.5 to this car. It's a pretty good grade for an intermediate model car. This is not a budget one, this is not a premium one. It's an intermediate model car, so for it, it's pretty honest. It's got a very good quality paint, very nice trim, very nice paint stripes, nice wheels and tires. Chrome parts are very well made, interior looks very nice. Mechanical details such as powertrain, front and rear suspensions, the undercarriage, and all those other details look very nice with a pretty good realism. If it were an Authentics or a premium line, it would look even better with more realistic hinges for doors, hood, and trunk, but it still looks very attractive and very realistic. The color is also very nicely made. The paint has got a very good quality with no rashes, no issues at all. Parts are pretty well aligned, and the chrome parts have no flashes, no cast markings, no issues of any kind. The interior looks much better than the older Earl line, with more realistic seats and better textures. So this is a pretty better product than the ones we used to have before. So I'd like to thank you for all likes and views, for all subscriptions. Please don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't subscribed yet. And also click the bell for news. So give me your comments, your thumbs up. And if you have any more information about the video and about the car, and you want to tell me what you think about the video and about the car, do so in the comments below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.